we have a bunch of thousands of different videos, which is great. It gives people the knowledge they need. But I was like, I think, like, what is our purpose here at the D2D Experts? Our purpose was to bring honor and integrity, not just training, right? So how do we mix that in with the training so we can really level up the door-to-door space?
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Door-to-Door podcast. My name is Hunter, and today's a little bit of a different episode. Pretty interesting. We've got Brett Haynes in the house. Brett Haynes is not a Golden Door winner, nor is he knocking doors right now. Brett is actually the marketing director here at Door-to-Door Experts. Brett has been with the company since late 2020.
Early 2020.
Early 2020. And 5 years later, still jamming. He's got a acute understanding of this business. He's seen changes. He's close with Sam. And now he's spearheading D2DU 2.0.
Yeah.
And a lot of other internal builds out. But we wanted to get Brett on for many reasons. He's been here a long time. I think you're the longest standing employee as it stands right now.
As it stands. There is one person over me, Christian, our overseas editor, who edits all of our D2D.
Really?
He has me beat by about a year, but yeah.
Dang. And has he ever been to Utah?
No, I don't think so. No.
There you go, dude. So he has the title. Brett's runs marketing. If you've seen any of our ads, anything, Brett's the guy. He's the genius behind that. But we wanted to get him on and just kind of riff. He's been here for 5 years. Door-to-Door Experts is, I believe, 8 years old now.
Yeah.
About 8 years old when Sam founded it. And there's been a lot of growth, a lot of changes, and there's going to be some cool new changes that are actually in the works right now. And we just wanted to just give you guys a little behind the scenes peek as to our organization, where we're at and where we're headed. But I guess question for you, Brett, 5 years in, do you like your job? Do you like it?
I do, actually, because 5 years ago, it was if everyone remembers, I don't know if people do remember this, there was this thing called the pandemic that took place.
6 feet safe. Dude.
Yeah. So when I first started 5 years ago in 2020, it was March, and Sam just got his old office out in Draper, and he just signed the lease. He was working out of his basement, growing everything. D2D Con was on the second stint, going on to the third at that point.
It's such a infancy, dude.
Yeah, no, right? It's crazy. And then I was one of his first interviews in the new office.
No way.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
wait, is this before the old Sandy office?
Yeah, this is in the Draper office. This is right then at that time. He barely just signed the lease in Draper.
Is that the one that I saw?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was in Sandy. Okay.
No, it was in Draper.
I'm following now.
I literally just went into his office. He signed the documents literally like a day before I came in on my interview. And I saw Sam before, and I was like, who's it? I was like, I've seen him before. And before I came here, I was doing a little bit of marketing for events and other things. And so obviously the pandemic happened, and I came in and interviewing for a totally different position than I am in today. Yeah, I came in to run all of the customer success and a few other things. You wear a lot of hats when you're a small company at first.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, it's funny because the evolution, and literally from day one, because I knocked doors about 11 years ago.
Oh, wow.
11, 12 years ago. Yeah, it was around that time.
What product?
I did satellite, satellite.
Dang, dude, you are OG.
And then kind of moved into solar when solar started getting right into the infancy of like booming in solar. Then I kind of took a step back to get in events. But I knew there was a struggle with the door-to-door and the training and like what took on there, because when I knocked doors, it was whoever recruited you went out with them for maybe an hour, maybe two. You're lucky to get a day with them.
And that was it.
And it was kind of just like, feast or famine, like figure it out yourself or go for it. Yeah, really. And from there, I honestly did pretty well. I'm a very outspoken person, and I'm a very people person. So I did pretty decent at it. Just kind of got a little bit older and decided, I can't knock forever. So I got into the event world doing marketing there, to where I learned a lot of different marketing tips and tricks and things like that. On the event side, massive like music festivals and other things like that. It was really cool. And so when the pandemic happened, Sam brought me in for that interview, and he was like, hey, like, obviously we're a small organization. Like, we're not like, and I kind of knew of him because I saw him on Facebook and things that, because I was in the door-to-door space a little bit at the time when I started seeing him blow up a little bit. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I really do believe in this product, because for someone who actually lived it and got sent across the country my very first summer and had not a lot of training, and to see how maybe, you know, I made X and how I could have probably made Y if I had a certain type of training. I saw the vision there and the need for, you know, just to bring, like, we have like the saying here, and we say that all D2D cons is, you know, to bring honor and integrity to the door-to-door space. And I saw a need for that. Because from being a recruiter to being in, like, seeing the guys and who knocked doors and how they were knocking doors, to I've seen whole offices get shut down just because of the little things they were doing, just because, you know, being a little bit dishonest or those type of things. So I really saw all of that combined. I was like, all right, I want to be here, because the fact that we can train people up and teach them how to sell the right way and actually bring, like I said, honor and integrity to the door-to-door space has been nothing but, like, I think, incredible what we need to be doing, because door-to-door usually has such a negative condensation with when it comes from it.
Sure.
As you said, I run the marketing, so I see people all the time in our ads being like, door-to-door scamming, don't answer them, they're so pushy, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so sometimes just being like, okay, like, I hear that, so now, you know, that's what we're here for. And we're not just the typical door-to-door company trying to sell you. It's like, hey, we're trying to help you. Like that, you're seeing our ads for us to help you.
Totally. I agree, man. But it's actually, like, you just jogged a memory of mine that just gave validity to your statement. So obviously, you know that Sam went, he went his 10th, 11th, and senior year of high school in my hometown, which is how I met him, because him and my sister were friends. He's a slightly bit older. So I knew who he was, and I think we were like Facebook friends or something when I got into door-to-door, but I didn't, like, know him. It'd been like 8 years. And I remember when I first joined Alarms, I was like, oh yeah, Sam Taggart's kind of like a gangster at this stuff. And so I started I was like, oh yeah. So I was like following along, and, you know, back then I think he was VP of Solcius, maybe on the tail end of Vivint. And I was in Alarms as well. And I remember kind of speaking to what you were saying about how this is a need. Training could have gotten you further when you were on the doors. When I joined a company that had a decent little training library. It was the VP of that company at the time, just doing a few little tips and tricks. And dude, when I was brand new, so if you're a new rep and listening to this, like, pay attention, because this helped me. I would, like, pick one topic a day, whether it was like overcoming a certain objection or working on, you know, my tonality, whatever it was. And I would just, like, not focus on, like, making a sale. I'd focus on that specific skills, topic, whatever. And in the very, very beginning, I would literally knock a door, focus on, you know, there's that objection, overcome it. And whether I did good or bad, I would, before I got to the next door, I'd literally go that property line divider, and I'd sit on my phone and I would pull up that training video and I'd watch the video. Like, oh, go to the next door, try it again, stop. And I would watch the same video, I'm not even joking, like 30 to 50 times, like in a day between doors to master that skill. And it was all I had. We're talking like 8 videos in total. And to your point, if I had door-to-door you when I was on the doors, it would have taken my X result to a Y. So that's cool, dude. I've never really put that piece together, and I completely agree. I think what we're doing here at D2D Experts is needed. And I'm glad Sam followed that intuition he had 8 years ago to get it started, because look where we're at now. But 5 years in, runs marketing, door-to-door veteran. Has there been a time frame since you've been here in the last 5 years that you'd say, like, this window, this quarter, this year, or this project, whatever, was your favorite or most impactful? Because I mean, a lot of your role has shifted. What you've been doing has shifted.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Over the last 5 years. I would say the most impactful every single year, D2D Con would be my one. I have a couple. I would say D2D Con, seeing the evolution of that grow year after year. We get more and more Golden Door winners there.
Yeah.
Golden Door has actually taken off to where people actually, it has weight behind it, where people want to be on stage or show off like that, you know, like they are the cream of the crop, the top 1% of door-to-door.
Yeah.
So I love seeing that and how that's kind of taken off. And just like I said, the growth of the D2D space in general that way. I would say the next project is what I'm excited for, and I guess we can kind of talk about it now, is the revamp and relaunch of D2DU.
You hear that, folks? Complete relaunch.
Yeah.
Revamp.
Sam started D2DU, like obviously like the story, quick story behind it. And you guys probably, some of you may know, some of you may not know. Sam like had a bunch of trainings that he had for when he knocked for Vivint. And he would give it to his guys. He would record his pitch, he'd record his trainings and give it to his sales guys. So after he left there, some other people were like, hey, Sam, I want your trainings. And that where he got the idea, like there's really nothing out there like that, to where it's like just you do get companies doing their trainings in their way, but nothing really on a high scale. Because even still to this day, I hear people when we talk to being over marketing and hearing some of the sales guys talk, they're like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just get it on YouTube. And YouTube's great. And don't get me wrong, like YouTube, and there's so many tools out there from ChatGPT and all this other stuff, but they're learning it from somewhere, right? And so with YouTube, it's not getting to the nitty gritty. They're giving you the surface level, but they're not getting you step by step by step. They might get you a door approach. They might show you how to kind of say it, but they're not giving you the frameworks, the mindsets, the why, the how. And that's one thing with D2DU that's taken off. And over the last year, we decided, I went to Sam about a year ago and I was like, look, Sam, and a few of us that worked here, and we're like, hey, I think it's time. We have thousands of different videos, which is great. It gives people the knowledge they need. But I was like, I think, like, what is our purpose here at the D2D Experts? Our purpose was to bring honor and integrity, not just training, right? So how do we mix that in with the training so we can really level up the door-to-door space? So we came out with the apprentice and the pro certifications.
Oh, so that's fairly new then.
It is. That's going to be the new launch of D2DU 2.0.
Gotcha.
So with that, it's the apprentice is more like surface level, like right for the new reps, because we had the one product at the time, and I'm like, hey, let's get something for some of these guys that are like barely into door to door. Some of these are young cats that never knocked a door in their life, and they might not have a nickel to rub together, and they're really wanting to try to get into door to door. So why should we hold them back from trying to do something which we, we're passionate about, that got us started and why we're here today?
Yep.
So we came up with the apprentices, and so it will really be the first groundbreaking 101 to really get people training the right way, right out the gate, and getting them the fundamentals of door to door. And then we took it a step further after we kind of put that all together, and we came up with a pro certification per industry, to where it's actually diving deep to the mindsets, the hows, the whys, the tonalities that you put together, like all the nitty gritties of door to door and sales in general. So that will make you a pro. That's why it's called the pro within your actual industry. So that's one thing I'm really excited about this upcoming year, and actually it's launching within the next couple of weeks, is D2DU 2.0. Wow. Took us about a year to put together. Wow. Sam's been filming nonstop. If you don't know Sam, he's a very busy man. Yeah. Our whole company we do events, we do from in-person to virtual to, obviously we have the old D2DU to we have masterminds. So we're a busy company. And for that to take place, to take an extra, I see Sam at midnight here, just ripping into the camera, getting other experts here, our Golden Door winners here late at night, during the day, taking time. That's to really put together a brand new training course that I think it's not just 1,000 different types of videos like our old training platform. And it was great and there was broken down, but this is like has an actual flow to the whole process from A all the way to Z. So it makes you a pro within the door-to-door space from right when you watch it to you can stop and do everything you need. And obviously with everything that AI is taking on right now, we have a little mix of AI that's in there too, where you can get a quick answer within a quick, hey, AI, how do I handle this objection type? And it will give you spitball you an answer and walk you step on how and why and where, reference the video. And it's great. There's going to be a lot of new changes that are coming into D2DU. I'm super excited about, which you guys will probably be seeing and hearing about very soon. So,
dang, that's cool. I was unaware. Can you speak for them and for me, for people that are involved and not or thinking about it? There's the certification element, and we just had the first one get certified.
Yeah.
And we shot them with Nerf guns. It was fun. But what exactly is that? Is it just like because I saw him up on stage, he was like reciting his pitch or something to someone to pass off. What does someone need to do to get certified, and what will it do for them?
Yeah, so the certification, like I said, the reason why is, like I said, we wanted to bring honor and integrity. So the part of the certification is after you watch the videos, we do you get a ticket to our live sales bootcamp. And with that sales bootcamp is
so they watch the videos, they get A ticket?
Ticket right to the sales bootcamp.
Wow. Okay, cool.
So with that, it's a 2-day experience where they come in and we don't just do sales training. We have like the whole 9 yards where they do like mindset work, breath work, things like that. Work on themselves, not just in sales, because sometimes you can't be the best version of yourself if you don't work on it. And you can't be a good salesman if you don't work on yourself first, right? So we really try to empower that within people within our sales bootcamp. Obviously, it's a sales bootcamp, so we do sales training as well. So when they get to come to that, so once they finish off their pro certification, they come to the sales bootcamp for a pass off, where we have experts come in and they actually have to do their pitch, recite their pitch, and actually do it at a high level to where it's like, okay, hey, this guy's ready to go. Like he actually is that guy. And then we sign him off and you get a certification saying, hey, like, you know, you went through A to Z. And so now the D2D Experts gives you a stamp and says, hey, we can vouch for this guy. So now you can take that certification, go to any company within that you want to go work for and say, hey, I, went through this certification with the D2D Experts. I'm actually certified to knock doors.
That's dope.
And Sam's been working with other partners. We're working with third party and other things to eventually, hopefully, in the future, get it to where it's certified within other like major like companies, like solar, those solar companies that are like outside parties that can be like, we vouch for if you got the certification, we want you working with us more than if you don't. If you're a roofing company, we're working on that as well.
That's smart.
To where it's like kind of like the real estate game in a sense. Yeah. To where it's like you have to have a real estate license. We don't want to get it to nitty gritty like that, but we want to get it to where it's actually like there's some weight behind getting the certification and working with some of these parties that have real weight within the industry. Sure. Legislation, they work with legislation and other things to where we can be like, hey, like you need to get the certification or it'd be a good thing to have the certification because then we know you are actually going to do the right things when you're knocking on someone's door and sell them the right way. And you're not going to, just sell them just to get the, get the commission. So that's where it's eventually heading right now. It's going to be a really good tool to really take to any company and be like, hey, like I went through the certifications. I'm not a schmuck. I know exactly what to say, how to say it. I know from how to sell solar, the ins and outs of solar or the ins and outs of a roof or, how to spray pest or what to look for with the pest and how to do the whole switch over and all sorts of different things. I can go in for days on different trainings that we put together. But it's going to be, I think it's the first step to really bringing honor integrity, not just sales focus, which is a huge chunk of it. I would say that 75% of it is sales focused, but a good portion of it is the ethic part of it. Totally. Ethics part of it. And so, I'm excited to see how, the next evolution of how we can get door to door,
That's super interesting because look at when Sam started Door to Door Con. It was kind of like this outside event. Like no one went. I shouldn't say that. People went, but it's
a few hundred at the time.
It has grown into it's such a mainstream event now in our space. Like everyone goes, the who's who go, the big names go. And they bring their team. It's crazy. And so I have no doubt that that program that's very interesting can be implemented on the large scale that it's intended to. And it's almost like I'm from California. If I wanted to go sell solar legally, actually go in a home and have access to tools, I had to be what's called HIS license, home improvement salesperson by the state of California. If you don't have that license in California, you can't get access to any finance option, any portal, whatever. And I believe that's the case as well for Connecticut, I think.
Pretty confident it's Connecticut.
Connecticut, yeah. And it's legit. I still have mine. I renew it every 2 years because even though I don't sell solar anymore, actually that's not true. I just sold 5 solar accounts last week.
There you go.
My stepdad and his rental properties, whatever. Still 5 solar deals, but that'd be super cool if it can be integrated into kind of legislation. Otherwise, it's like, hey, some Karen calls the police, and you're knocking in Texas, you whip out certifications. Like, no, I'm actually certified to knock doors. I'm not a schmuck.
That's the long goal, is to really start working with other outsiders and other agencies that are part of that and really getting it to be dialed in as like the actual certification for the whole, for any industry that you're in. That's the end goal. And I think we're working on it and getting there, but that can take time.
Sure. For sure.
If we can start somewhere and showing proof of concept, that's kind of where we're at right now. And kind of seeing how we can, bring the honor and integrity, like what we've been saying this whole show so far. To the door-to-door space that way. So
that's awesome. Yeah, Door-to-Door University. If you guys have not enrolled or checked it out, I recommend it. It's it's not even expensive and it's worth it. You don't realize that you got to be consistently sharpening that sword. Let's shift gears a little bit. I kind of want to get your take on a couple things. So obviously we have the D2D side is something we do here at D2D Experts, but we also do, apart from the big events like D2D Con and D2D Con Canada, which is coming. We'll speak to that here in a bit. We do a lot of internal events. We do boot camps, as we call them: sales boot camp, leadership boot camp, recruiting boot camp, and business boot camp, all tailored for different people in our space to up-level their game. Normally they're 2-day events. I guess all of them are 2-day, right?
Yeah,
they're all 2-day events. So with your knowledge of these events, Brett, and how they run and the value that's added and the kind of the routine and schedule that they follow, or the content that's shared, I should say, if you were an outsider, but you had your internal knowledge and you had to pick one event to attend, which event would you attend and why?
That's so hard because they all tailored to so many different aspects. True. Like you said, we have the sales that's going to be focused on sales, like sales training. So someone might need that.
Totally.
There's leadership. Maybe you're involved. You've done sales for the last couple of years, and now you're trying to look for more of the sales side and being a recruiter and how to grow your team and maximize your team. That would be great for the leadership and just different leadership like things inside your organization. And not just with the sales reps, but also in your organization in general with the leadership side. Then you got the recruiting boot camp. Like, again, if you're trying to grow, maybe you have your systems dialed in and now you're looking to more so get more people in the door to help you now boom your company. That does so much wonders. But if I had to pick one, it's going to be the business boot camp because I think it starts from the top down, right?
Yeah.
So I would say for business boot camp is probably going to be that, or leadership, I would say, are the two major boot camps that I say are the most bang for your buck, especially business, because I've seen business owners come in here who are doing a great job running their organization. They're just missing like one little key element that, they get that one key thing that they never thought about, and they hit that and they turn that knob a little bit, and all of a sudden it's off to the races.
Yeah.
From different system organization to like just how your pay structures to just even just the small things that I know a lot of people talk about, but like really dialing it in is your culture and like actually having a reason and why for your culture, not just being like every other person being like, well, I want for one of my core values to be is X, right? I don't know what some core values you might have, but actually having some gumption and like actual like conviction to what you're actually having on your walls or and believing in it and actually doing it. And those small things, which doesn't sound like a lot, but just seeing those small tweaks in some of those key systems within someone's business, I've seen night and day just dramatic shifts in companies just because of small tweaks. We like to say is, you're not working on your business, you're working in your business. And if they're not working in your business, you're working on your business type of mentality. And that's kind of where we're at with it, is how can we, get you to, take a step back and not just work on it with Sam, but within our business boot camp, there's 30, 40 other owners that could have been in the same spot as you at one point, or maybe in a different spot, and you're all in different spots, but you get to connect with them for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And jive with them and ask them questions and build an actual learn from each other.
Yeah.
Because there's enough space and there's enough resources out there. We should all be thriving together. And that's kind of like what we try to do with these events is, you learn from Sam a good 90% of it, but the other 10% is learning from some of our partners, learning from other people that are attending. So if I had to answer, and I know that was long-winded, if I had to answer, I'd say business boot camp is definitely for any owners out there looking, or see executives within a company or executives within a company looking to scale, build certain processes, or, take your company to the next level. I'd definitely say that one.
Yeah, I agree. Because there's also other, from what I gathered with filming and, being in the building and listening, there's also elements of sales, leadership, and recruiting that is taught in the business boot camp. So
100%.
It kind of encompasses all of it. It is a good event. I enjoy it. I think as well too, because I do a lot of the testimonial interviews, like during the boot camp, like day one, post event or whatever. I get to hear the attendees like immediate feedback, especially this last one. I think I recorded like close to 30 people. It was kind of cool. I often, we get into the weeds of like our job and getting bodies in and making sure we can, perform. I often forget like how dope those events are and how impactful they are.
Really,
it's kind of crazy. And I think one of the biggest value adds for these events or our elite or our league, you know, the elite in the circle, is the network you gain.
Oh,
it's like matched. Coming to one event and meeting the other people in that room. If that was it, if it was just a 30-minute meet and greet, exchanging contact information, maybe an hour, have some lunch, like to me, that'd be worth the price alone. And then going back to your market with those people that are now buds that you can call on, that have done the things that you're doing or gone through whatever business challenge or sales challenge or recruit, whatever, you have that resource now. There's not a price you can put on it. And I often forget how connected Sam is.
It throws me off too.
Dude.
It throws me off too.
He is one of the most connected people I've ever met, probably have ever met, for real. Like, for example, last week, and he's like a celebrity. It's funny. Last week, we were going to go film. We were supposed to be here in the studio, and I was like, let's make it more organic. Let's hop in the car.
You guys were late filming my ads.
I know, my bad. Well, it's his fault, dude. I'm putting it on him, dude, because he wanted to run around, do street interviews. It was funny. But anyway, so I left my media bag in my apartment, which had the mics. So I was like, yo, let's drive to my apartment. We'll pick it up. And on the drive back, we'll do the recordings. He's like, sounds good. We get to the parking lot. He's like, oh, I have this really important call. And I was like, okay. There's a business center in my apartment. I was like, why don't we just go up there? There's a conference room. You can just jump in there. I'll get the thing set up. He's like, okay, cool. We literally walk in. You got to go through the leasing office to get to the business center. We walk in the doors and some random guy's just sitting there like signing a lease. He like looks over. Oh my God, it's Sam Taggart. I was like, here we go. He's like, bro, you're like my idol. Can I get a picture? It was so funny. And then we went out into downtown Salt Lake. It's not just, and someone was like, oh, hey, you're Sam Taggart. I'm just like, dang, dude, it's crazy. And when I'm following him around at these events like SolarCon, like we're backstage with like the Sharks and they're like, what's up, Sam? I'm just like, okay. So he's able to bring in such a vast network into events and things like that. It's really cool. So definitely check out an internal event if you haven't yet. If you're in sales, if you're in leadership, if you want to recruit better or a business owner, it's really cool. So how many door cons have you been here for? 5 or 6?
This will be my 5th one. Yeah,
fifth one. Yeah. Which one has been your favorite and why?
Oh, that's so tough.
And favorite door-to-door con and why? And your favorite guest that we've had on.
That's so tough. As a speaker, I would say for the last one, I would say it struck my chord a little bit having Harry Mack here. I've always been a huge Harry Mack fan. I've saw him from ever. And from just that experience to go up on stage, for him to recognize my late mom was massive, and him to rap about my late mom and just kind of like bring that up. So for me, it's more of a personal. So I would say last year's was so impactful on that front. I would say Jordan Peterson was a really great one. Yeah. He was a really good talk. I would say I really enjoyed him. I'd probably say 3 years ago with the Jordan Peterson. The Jordan Peterson one for sure.
We have that recording. Is it on YouTube or something? Or
yeah, we have it all over the place. YouTube, we have little pieces of it. DDU has access. It does. Has every like workshop that people. So if you ever can't make a DDD con, you know, not saying you shouldn't make it because the experience is much better there and the feel and the lives there. We put all of that on DDD too as well. So you can always check it out there as well. Yeah.
Just another reason. So Jordan Peterson, what the DDD con 6?
It was 6, yeah.
It was 6. That's cool. Yeah, they're really cool. Because I came here in 2020 for a year of consulting. So I got to like help backstage with Door Con 3, 4, I forget. We had, that was the year, who spoke that year? Do you remember?
With who?
The year I was there, it was 2020. Yeah,
because that was like I was like fresh to all this.
I think that was both of our first DDD.
That was like Maxwell. I think it was like because it was supposed to be. Who was it? I think it was John Maxwell or.
Oh yeah, it was John T. Maxwell. Yeah,
I know he spoke at that one in 2020, in 2021 actually, because I just missed the 2021 prior to me because I came in later in that year. But I think John Maxwell was the one, and who else was it? I think it was Tim Cowboy. Iron Cowboy's that one too. Tim Billio, I think.
Hal Elrod was there.
Al Elrod, yeah.
Brad Lee, it was a breakout session or main stage as well. I forget, but he was there.
Yeah, we get so many good speakers.
I heard. I don't know if I can say it. I mean, I don't know when this will be released, but from our events director, Rob Deerdeck for this next one.
I can't confirm or deny. Okay. That might be something. Yeah,
dude.
I'm a big fan of him too. Like he's such a genius. Like
he's
the
genius,
fact that like
bro.
with Impulsive and like just how he has it so talking about business boot camps and talk about systems. Dialed. That's what he did for all Impulsive. It's so dialed, like down to the minute, down to exactly how they say it. Like
not impulsive
or what?
Ridiculousness.
Ridiculousness. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Logan Paul.
Sorry. You're right. That was my fault. Ridiculousness. You're right.
With Chanel West Coast.
With Chanel West Coast. Yes, ridiculousness. But yeah, down to the very nitty gritty of like everything he does and how he films it and all that stuff. And so like his system's rocking. So
I think they filmed that. They like spend a month just filming the whole year and then they're done.
They are. It's really one episode a day. They focus on one episode a day. They have it all tailored out, all mapped out, ready to go. Sometimes they can do 2 to 3 episodes. I think he said he's done 2 episodes a day.
Something.
Where I'm like, where they just go and change and they just film another one. I'm like, what? Like,
and then
it's so dialed. I'm like, hey, you know.
Yeah, I like following along with him because he just put like he's just a great mind as far as just like business, like optimizing your time and systems and processes. Like he's so dialed, almost like too dialed.
I couldn't live that life.
Neither could I, dude. I'm more. I understand the value of that and I try to implement that in my work life. But personally, I like to be a little spontaneous sometimes. You know?
I like to be a little messy myself sometimes because I can't be that. But that's why I'm also not Rob Dyrdek. So.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I remember when I can go on for Rob for a while. I like it. There was a question I wanted to ask you more so about the company, not about our events. Has there been a favorite season that you've worked here? Like a favorite year or?
Yeah.
I think I asked you that. I don't think, just like a favorite era of your employment here.
That's tough. I would say there's this group of us.
You could say the name.
Yeah. Shout out to Jake Peters, you know, Braden Bodley, you know, Ammon. There was a time, Jessica Bodley, there was a time, Cam, there was a time it's called the Weedham Boys. It was probably, I would say, and they helped me grow this. Like I am here now. They all went on to kind of do other things at this point in their careers and kind of, you know, off there doing great things. And they're the reason why D2D and obviously Sam himself is where it's at today.
Totally.
They like for the last, I would say 4 years, 3 to 4, has been, you know, just us just grinding.
It's like a core,
like from, you know, like you brought up the circle and the elite and you just had such a good pulse on that, you know, and putting that all together and really putting our heart and soul into growing these things. Right. And to, you know, for them to feel loved and just not just, you know, it's a real mastermind of like people, like you said, people coming together and that they have a whole network of each other and her cultivating that and like really bringing them all in to Braden, who was the OG D2DU builder. He actually is the original who helped build and foundation of D2DU to even when we moved over to Lightspeed, our new platform that we're on today, where he manufactured that whole thing at that time, to Jake and Ammon, who overseed it and grew it and do all the filming for all the corporate side and like to grow that and like how to build a perfect training platform that they maximize that within a good, you know, 8-hour time block. Like we were talking about with Dyrdek and how he kind of put together, that's what they were doing for corporate accounts, how to film and like make the best bang for your buck and get the right trainings in there for your guys to, you know, scale from all that. So I would say the OGs is what we call them. From Steven, how did I forget Steven Pritchard?
Dude,
like,
how do you forget?
How did I like, sorry, Steven. Sorry, Steven. Everyone loves, like, he's so infectious. He walks into a room and just everyone's like, Steven, and just his energy he brings.
He is something.
Like just everything. And so I would say the best time at working here in this company, I would say is probably the 3 or 4 years that I got to spend with all those people and grow and be a part of something special and be where D2D is today because of it. So I'd say that the OG's time frame. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, I haven't been here nearly as long as you, but I got to work with the Bodleys a little bit when I was here 4 years ago, and then a little bit as I've been back, and Steven included. Feels weird with them not here.
There's some moments where I'm still getting used to it. Yeah. It seems like it just all got plucked one by one.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, they're all doing amazing things other places.
And we still get to see them. Charlie's Chickens.
We still got our weekly luncheon that we got to keep continuing doing. But yeah, they're really the foundation of what we laid here, and that will carry on, not just for, since they're gone, it's going to carry on for the whole time D2D Experts is around. I think they left that type of mark.
100%. And like, even just like the things that they have built will continue to go on, but like their name, like for example, I just hit the 90 days of employment here. So I got the benefit enrollment, and like the package said like sender Braden Bodley. And I'm like, little things like that.
Little things people don't think about, but it's like, like that.
It's like things like that. Like, who's going to go change that and why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll have people that are hired in a year from now, and they'll be like, Braden Bodley, who's that?
Who's that guy?
You're like,
he's that
silence.
guy.
Who's that guy? You mean he is that guy? He's that guy. Yeah, they're good folk, good people. But only thing constant in life is change, I guess. But we'll keep pushing forward. But kind of to wrap up, it's been fun just jamming a little bit.
Yeah.
What excites you the most about the next 5 years here at D2D Experts?
That's such a loaded question because, like I said, I have my hands in so many different things. Just the growth of the D2D space, to see how the D2D space like changes. Like I said, I've been here I did door-to-door 11 years ago, almost 12 years now, and seeing the difference within door-to-door from then to now, and to see the impact that the D2D Experts can have on the industry 5 years from now. Maybe you got the certification really passed off. Maybe we are part of legislation where we're like, that's a huge thing, part of it. But for me, it's not just about D2D Experts. I would hope within the next 5 years, if we can just change everyone that comes into our hemisphere and set their trajectory for the next 5 years, where they feel like they have actually launched their life. Because a lot of the people that come in door-to-door are younger people that are trying to find their way. And their sales is kind of like the first thing that they kind of get into. I would like to think within the next 5 years that we can hopefully impact as many people as possible. So where maybe they're not knocking in 5 years, but we put them on a good trajectory, that they made enough money, they got their life put together, that they can actually thrive and do what they need to be doing. And that's kind of like, I would say, I know that's kind of cliche and maybe corny, whatever, but like, that's what we're here for, is to help anyone that comes into our hemisphere and kind of push them to be the better version of themselves. And to, obviously no one's goal is to knock doors until they're, to what, 30, into their whole life, right? So to really put them on a good trajectory so they have a, can do whatever they want in life and really thrive at it. So
totally. They take, a lot of people will knock doors for a season, not just like literally a season, but like just a season of their life. And if they take it seriously and utilize and jump on our bandwagon of what we can offer, you think about the value we add and the cost associated, it's not even the ballpark. Like, no, it's it can really help people if they take it seriously, get access to Sam and his network, the training, everything. It could put you in such a good spot, because a lot of people like myself, yourself, I never intended for door-to-door to be a career. To me, it was a means to an end. I was like, I'll do it because I got to provide for my family, and while I figure out what's going to be. And then 10 years later, I was just knocking doors 4 months ago.
Really though?
You know what I mean?
I didn't think I would be still in the door-to-door space. Like when I left and started doing events, like I said, I was doing massive music festivals.
That's pretty cool.
I was meeting Halsey. I was meeting
what?
I was meeting I was like doing I don't know if you've seen those Chinese sky lanterns that go into the air.
Yeah.
Those big festivals. I was putting on those across I was getting ready to go international with them. I was doing that type of stuff after getting done knocking doors. I was a recruiter. I did the door knocking. I was a big recruiter for a company. I had 200 people under my downline.
Wow.
I was doing the thing in door to door. Then I got into events because they sold the company and they're like, come on, Brett, do this.
Yeah.
And I didn't think 4 years after doing events, 4.5 years of doing events, that I'd ever be back in the door-to-door hemisphere. I thought that was a chapter of, a couple chapters of my life. And so you just never know what you're going to do. Even still to this day, the way I talk with people, the way I interact, the way I even, think, is I took so much from door to door, traveling this country and seeing the way that people live, the way that, the interactions I've had, to having, people inviting me for dinner and having, and drinks and things like that, as we're trying to sell them satellite. You're paying my commission and you're inviting me in for dinner too. Thank you. It just, the impact that door to door has done for me, I can never, so many stories, I could never, the lifelong lessons I've gotten from door to door can never be beat, because I've taken so much from it over just in that small, short period. Even now, hearing these other people come in and hearing their wins, I'm like, it's been a definitely game changer that way. So
totally. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I won't share it, but it's it's crazy. No, like the people you'll meet, the experiences you have, the lessons you'll learn. It's wild. Like to me, the monetary element is why a lot of people get into this industry. They're like, oh, I can earn this much money, like crazy cool. But that's just a byproduct of everything else, in my opinion.
100%.
It's cool. It's a cool industry. I'm privileged to be still in it in some facet, like I'll knock doors, you know, but I like working for the experts. I love the lane I'm in and the people I get to meet. But anyways, guys, that's Brett Haynes, marketing director, OG, gangster, stud.
Somewhat.
Some of that. And dude, we were just speaking before this. He's also big into sports and has. Where can they follow you? Because you do explain what you do.
Yeah. So if you're into sports, I love sports. That's like my one true passion. If I could have any real job that I can actually say Stephen A. Smith when I have nothing on me.
I bet, dude.
I would love to be in the sports world. Every man, I think, I'd say majority of men would probably say that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So if LeBron was coming at you like he did to Stephen,
Oh, I'm fighting LeBron.
Yeah.
I'm not getting, no, I'm just kidding. But no, you check me out on all my, all my socials from, Brett Haynes at Twitter. I'm the DOP, DOP on Twitter.
What's that mean, DOP?
It's my nickname I'm a big Tim Duncan fan. So it's dunking on people is kind of like my thing. So it's like a little catch thing on it. We do all sorts of different sporting things, and yeah, it's fun. So talking sports. If you like to talk sports, we just have a chat that just loves to talk sports. So
follow along. But guys, follow along Door-to-Door Experts. Subscribe this podcast. If you don't already, follow our Instagram. Follow Sam Taggart. We're doing cool things here, and you're going to want to be involved. You're going to want to know. Anyways, that's the episode today. Thank you, Brett.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.